for coming. I hope you're still awake, some energy. Usually I have this tone, so hopefully you won't be able to sleep. And I'll start by telling you a little bit about, about why I ended up doing this line of research. Okay. And as Yuri mentioned, I started my PhD at Leeds, and I went there thinking that I want to do person re-ID, which is one leaving a camera, entering another camera, and David, being a very, very experienced supervisor, in my first meeting with him, he said, maybe you want a slightly different topic to start with that gets you on a more interesting track. He had received an email on the day that a bicycle was stolen on campus. And he said, Dima, what about if you put a camera up and you look at people dropping bicycles, picking them up, and you see whether you can do something about the behavior and bicycle theft detection. And that's how I started. I put the camera up, and I emailed my colleagues saying, could you please, some of you act as thieves? Everybody wanted to be the thief. That was like the popular role. And I started looking at this interaction between the person and the bike. And what started as a 3-month project ended up being the whole PhD. Because what was interesting about this problem is not only linking the person to the bike they had dropped and picked, but also looking at whether you can link the person who had dropped the bike at 9 o'clock in the morning to the person who had picked it up 5 o'clock in the evening, or maybe didn't return on the same day and returned the day after. And that long-term global explanation ended up being a fairly complex problem to look at, interestingly still unobserved in more recent works. And over the years, I found myself doing this link between the person and the object in all different works. So after people and bikes, I did people and carried objects. I did people and kitchen equipment. Then I did ticket machines. Then I went and did some observation of people interacting with objects from a third-person view, so looking at people as they interact. We had this industrial project where we were kind of putting stuff on people as they package things, and I did lots of work with sewing machines, and this seemed to kind of form this link, the link between the person and the object. And since I started with this remote camera, so a camera looking at people with the bikes, I moved to Bristol, where they had done lots of work with SLAM, so with handheld cameras building a map of the environment, and I started observing these very, very interesting images of hands as and when they interact with objects. And I thought, why are we doing it from a third person? This is very, very far. Let's get really closer and just look at exactly what the eye is looking as you are interacting with objects. So over